Yes, I think that is everything I need to say. So I'm going to get the timer up, and then I'm going to count to 3, and on 3 we can all press play. So, if everyone is good to go, I will count us in on 3. 1, 2, 3. Ba-bum.
I have absolutely no memory of this episode whatsoever.
Oh no. I mean, that's good. You get to relive it with us.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point I will be like, oh, right, that's what happened.
I remember the end of the episode more than the beginning and middle.
Ruh-roh. Sophie doesn't strike me as someone who would forget she has 5.5 years left on her contract.
I think she knew, and she just doesn't care. She just wants Susie to deal with it.
Yeah, that adds up. Welcome, Madeline. Welcome, Mariam. We are at 2 minutes and 39 seconds of episode 3 of season 3 of Mrs. Maisel, if you'd like to join us.
I think this is a good lesson for all of us. If you ever become famous and you need an agent, don't sign a long-term contract. Just do little short years.
Taylor Swift and Mrs. Maisel both taught us this lesson. Stay away from men and their gross contracts. They should move back to Paris. Is this the same actor for the brother as the original in season 1 or no?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah. It's the
What?
beard.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I was kind of mulling it over because I was looking at the beard and I was like, it has to be the beard, but then I was like, no, that's a completely different person. Hi, Mandy. Sorry, I didn't see you come in. I assume you got yourself a timestamp, but we're at 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Hi, Nancy. We are at 7 minutes and 33 seconds. Why did she use her tongue to test if it was hot?
I know, that's one of my favorite things she ever does. It's so weird.
You're unmuted, Nancy. Oh my god. No. Where are the books?
And if books feed her, then she doesn't eat very much.
I wonder if that's actually a callback to the fact that she doesn't eat. Because didn't she like really criticize Midge for like eating a finger sandwich or something?
Yes.
Oh, it's already a competition. I give this 2 episodes before it burns to the ground. If anyone has seen or read Room,
No,
this is a very different circumstance, but it
Valentine's
feels the
thing
same.
that I don't know why she got me 2 things. Unless the price.
Yes. You're unmuted, Nancy.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That's a lot of money for back then.
I'll forgive him if he gives me. Actually, you know what? No, never mind. As soon as he touched her, I immediately took back what I was saying. I was like, I'll forgive him for money, but no, it's not worth it.
All cut up now.
By the way, Midge's outfit in this scene is beautiful. Well, in the few scenes, but it's gorgeous. I love the pink and green.
Yes. And the casserole dish.
Oh yeah.
The pink. Oh, that's the best. Oh, we had great discussion about planes back then last night. Look at this plane.
That is
It's
a very
amazing.
cool
This
plane.
is my favorite scene, Lee. And you'll see why soon. I'm glad I made it back for this one.
Midge looks like she's dressed as an air hostess a little bit. The hat. It's the hat.
Yeah, and I love how,
It's the guy from This Is Us.
yes, Sterling K. Brown. I love Midge's outfit. It's mostly completely neutral, except the hat, the purse, and the belt ties the hat and the purse together. It's beautiful.
I'm freaking out over Sterling. This is like with the time he appeared in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I nearly fell off my seat. Oh no, Susie's scared of planes.
This is me when I
Oh,
fly.
I'm terrified. I hate planes. They have to give me Xanax when I fly.
Me too.
Aw, besties. I lift my legs too.
I love that Susie's holding Midge's hand. I think that's so sweet.
It's adorable. My thing with planes is that I have to see out the window because if something's going to happen, I need to see it happening. Like, if we're going to die, I need to see that the wing is gone. So I'd be the opposite of Susie.
Oh, I don't look out the window. No, no, no.
Listen, if I'm gonna die, I need to see it happening. Sorry, Nancy, go ahead.
I love how they have the curtains in the plane too, but you don't see that anymore either.
Oh my god, that's like a nightmare. This is how I imagine Lorelai and Rory's trip to Vegas went.
I've been to Vegas more times than I can count growing up and even as an adult, and I've never even played a slot machine because it just doesn't interest me. But I like to watch people gamble. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust myself. Like bingo is as far as I go with bingo and the lottery, which is terrible, terrible choice of gambling habits. But yeah, I wouldn't be any good at any of those games. But sitting and watching sounds very fun.
Oh, look at who it is. Yay.
No way.
Yes.
Did you see who that was?
I did see who that was. It took me a minute, but I'm assuming we get to see more of her, or at least hoping.
My favorite surprise ever.
And I love this song. It's perfect.
Is it snowing or something? Oh, that makes more sense. I thought she was excited because of snow.
I love this outfit. It's my favorite.
It is a very, very cool outfit. I like the lining. Is it her mugshot?
No, it's her on the army base when the wind caught
Ah,
and
okay. Okay,
the panty pose.
that makes sense.
Look on the stage, Lee.
It's Lisa.
Oh, this part is so sad to me.
This is like the shot in Paris, isn't it? When they were looking at the windows. Ooh la la. Joel looks like he has a bit of interest.
We were talking about this a lot last night too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that was cooked quick. I would love for Joel to have a girlfriend. My God, please. Like a real one, not just one he picked up at his office.
Her hair is the worst.
It looks like a hat.
Oh my God, that's the truest words ever spoken.
Midge the glove. Oh, I hate secondhand embarrassment. I don't know if I would say she bombed. She was just playing to a room of busy people.
Maybe her expectations changed now. Maybe she's expecting more of herself, so the standard is higher.
That is a very, very good point. Hi, Steph. We are at 45 minutes and 51 seconds. If you want to join in, we have about 7 minutes left. Sterling is just so charismatic in every single role he plays. Lisa. Well, that was a very cool ending.
I love the ending. I love the song leading up to that ending.
And is
Probably
that
one of my
the
favorites.
brother's house?
Oh
That is
no,
Moisha's house. That's Moisha's house. They're
it's
moving
Joel's
into their,
parents'
they're
house.
Of
moving
course.
into
My
the X
God,
Club.
my brain is not with it today. I could just remember because I was confused. I was like, didn't they say the brother had a 1 bedroom? That that doesn't look
Yeah,
like a 1 bedroom.
they're moving into their ex-law's house.
Fun.
What?
I don't know if fun is what it's going to be.
I'm I'm really stuck on the concept of, you see, I can see why it's an issue, especially for Midge, but I'm really stuck on the idea of her classing that performance as bombing. Like Sarah said, maybe her standards have just changed and she just expects better of herself. I don't know. I find it really weird. Like, I think less that she has to worry about being good and more about understanding the audience, which is something we seem to come back to about Midge a lot, is that she needs to understand that different audiences she plays in different rooms are going to be different. So, like, I don't know. I don't think she can expect to go into all of these dinner parties and expect everyone to put down their food and all be laughing at her for 20 minutes. I don't I don't know. I just think it's an odd expectation.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes you're just going to have bad rooms. That was a bad room. Like the woman standing up yelling, somebody needed to slap her and remind her that we have manners. Even if you're in Vegas, manners do exist. But it was just a bad room. And you're right. She does need to learn to read the room and adjust. And every room on this tour is going to be very different. So she's going to have to figure something out.
I do agree with Susie, I have to say, that I think her having a mic that comes off the stand is definitely going to help her. I think if she can, like, attune to the room she's in and pick out the people who are laughing with her or people who are doing funny stuff like standing up and screaming in the middle of the room, she can go to them and play off of it. I think that's definitely her strong suit. So, yeah, I wouldn't say she bombed as much as she just is adjusting to the concept of playing to a room of people who aren't there to see her, or comedy in general. They're there to see music, right? So it's not even it's not even that they're really there to see a comedian. Um, which I don't know. Like I was saying in the middle of that scene, it makes me really uncomfortable. I hate watching or feeling secondhand embarrassment. It makes me feel really uncomfortable, and I feel like it's a very similar experience. I don't know if you guys will understand, or like not even understand, but just relate to it, or if it's just me. But if I'm at a concert and the opening act, like people are talking or not looking at them, or like not even like, just kind of looking and like bobbing your head, even if you have no idea who they are, I get so uncomfortable. I'm like, why isn't everyone pretending to be enjoying this? That's basic manners. So like, it's just, yeah. I really hope the next episode doesn't have another scene where she has to play to people who are being rude. I'm assuming they won't do that. But yeah, I can't do it again.
Yeah, and she's learning. This is her first experience being on tour and probably her largest rooms. So, with the exception of the when they were on the military base, um, this is her largest room. So, it's going to take time for her to learn because she's a baby comic still.
I mean, absolutely. And I think like that was probably the scene that kind of made my skin crawl the most. The scene I think I enjoyed, the kitchen scene, and the scene of them when she went into the next room and performed and everyone started like filtering in from the tour group, like that That was really nice. I really enjoyed that, like the kind of sense of camaraderie and just being artsy together. It's very enjoyable, and like I go back and forth on Midge. She's definitely not my favorite character, but seeing her kind of bond with them all, and like she's bonding with Lisa's character, saying like, "Oh, well, I'll give you some tips about being on the road." And she's like, "Yes, please." Like that, it makes her feel a lot more relatable to me and a lot more enjoyable. So I really hope she embraces that kind of on the road family. And I think she will, from what I'm getting so far. I think she definitely will, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more of that.
And Liza's character is based on a true person, and Nancy knows all kinds of cool facts about
Oh,
her, but
Yes,
she's a real person.
she
the
was.
same name and everything?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
Carol Kay. She's playing. Liza's playing Carol Keen, and Carol is spelled with a E. And the character she's based on is based on Carol Kay. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Yeah, no,
So
take
I
your
don't mess
time.
up. I want to make sure I get the name right. Her character is based on Carol Kay, also with an E, and she was a prolific recorded bass guitarist in rock and pop music, and she played estimated 10,000 recordings in a career of 50 years. And she likes to use the upper register on her electric bass, and while a stand-up double bass would be used to cover the low end, and she accurately portrays the playing of the bass in the episode.
That's cool.
So I thought that was cool that they accurately portrayed all of that.
Absolutely. And that's really like, cuz I suppose a lot of the characters we meet have like we have a few who are real people and then a few who are based on real people but like different names with like some changes, but the kind of concept of them. So it's, and the names might be recognizable to maybe folks from the US. Like the name, you'll hear it and go, "Oh my god, that's blah blah blah." But I'm just like, "Ah, that's another character in the show." Like it doesn't really register with me, so I always appreciate hearing this.
Yeah, like Shy Baldwin is said to be based on Sam Cooke and Johnny Mathis, kind of a combination of those two musicians.
Yeah, you see, that rings no bell to me. I looked up when he came in first. I looked up if he was, because like that kind of charismatic musician, I was like, that has to be either a person or it's based on a person because not that you can't create a character like that, but it's just the way he was introduced felt very like, you're supposed to vibe with this person, you're supposed to know who it is. um so yeah, it's very very interesting the way Amy kind of weaves some real people in with some not real people. Like I wonder what actually makes that choice for her of who gets to be real and who doesn't.
Yeah,
um
like Shy, she wanted him to be based on those two figures, but it was very important to her that Shy have his own unique, like, personality and be his own unique person. And that's why she just kind of weaved two people together and then gave him his own things as well.
It may it may be that she decides who to use in real life is who she contacted them or not to be able to use them. Like if they're still alive, like I'm reading here now that Carol Kay was not very happy with being a caricature, as she puts it.
oh,
Um, and she's like, she said that she she was not what is it? We just had it but she was not very happy with the fact that she was not asked to be a part of it. So she was not asked to be a part of it. So that's probably why they had to use Carol Keene in the making of this movie. But she's like, I am not a cartoon.
Yeah, that's very interesting because like obviously like Lenny, they might be able to ask family of Lenny, but they wouldn't be able to ask Lenny. So like that kind of makes sense that she would kind of run with that. But yeah, if
Right,
the
because
people are
Lenny,
alive, go
yeah,
ahead.
because
Sorry.
Lenny passed away in 1966.
Yes.
So,
Yes. And I think
so
it's very, very important that Lenny Bruce is Lenny Bruce, that she not changed his name or just base him on Lenny because of who he was and what he meant to the comedy industry and what he means to Midge. Like, so important. So I'm glad she didn't, fictionalize him.
I still want those two to just smooch. I do.
Oh,
I want it to
yeah.
happen. I want
Me
it to
too.
happen. I know we're talking about important things and like historical accuracies and stuff, and I'm like, I don't care. I want Lenny Bruce to kiss this fictional character who did not exist. But yeah, I know we definitely had a conversation about that. I think it was last week. Like would she go there? Some people might know that answer already, and that's kind of the one thing that makes me want to binge ahead. I'm like, you all know whether it's happened yet or not, and it bugs me. But I wonder if she would go there because I'm like, she already introduced him, so like she obviously feels comfortable writing a real person, but like going as far as like implying he either had an affair or a relationship or whatever like it gets classed as based on their status at the time. I'm like, oh god, that's gonna bug me. Anyway, I won't get too much into that. Let me just calm myself down. Let me think. What else? What else? Oh, by the way, get your kernels, folks. I know. I think Steph or Kim posted in the channel, but I know we get very caught up in conversation, so don't forget to get your kernels. Um, what else happened in this episode? Joel and his potential girlfriend, who were definitely vibing together. I'm like, you see, I definitely I don't like Joel, so I'm not like sitting here like, oh, I really want to see that relationship. But I think coming back to like the discussion that we've had on healthy co-parenting, I don't think that Midge and Joel are gonna disconnect that like the little potential buzz that is always there between them unless they move on with other people. So it's not so much I'm like, oh yeah, I want Joel to have a girlfriend because I'm gonna ship them so hard. Like it's not it. I would love for him to move on and have a healthy relationship, not just move in with the mistress he had while he was married and try and call that a real relationship. I don't think that was ever gonna work. We know that. But I would love to see him have a healthy relationship with someone who like maybe he can take what he's learned from Midge. Like he obviously stifled her and she was a lot. Hello, Bubba. Hi. Sorry, Binks says hi, everyone. Um, um, what was I saying? Yeah, he not necessarily like he didn't. I don't think he ever did it on purpose, but like he saw how brilliant his wife was, and never really thought to give her room for that. And then when he found out she was taking room for herself, he wasn't thrilled. And I would like to see that he's grown from that in him being with someone else. Like obviously, I don't know this person, but she says she's in medical school, so I'm like, she's obviously a very driven person. Um, so like, I think that would just be a really healthy relationship if he could embrace another like really strong independent woman and actually support her in that sort of career. And I would love to see that. I would love to see that, and I think it would really benefit Midge and Joel in their own relationship of being healthy co-parents. I would. Is it too much to dream that there's just going to be a lot of healthiness? Is that too much? Are you guys not commenting because you know and you don't want to say anything? Is that why you're not saying anything about this potential relationship?
I just can't remember what Mei did for a living. I don't remember what her career is or what she does.
She's in medical school.
Yeah, she's not. She said, "I'm not a doctor yet," but yeah,
Yeah.
she's over 21, so she must be at least a few years.
Yeah, and I can't say anything because I definitely remember what happens because I've seen the whole thing like
no.
4 or 5 times.
And I remember sort of what happened, so I don't want to say anything about that
Oh,
either.
you awful people. Is there anyone on Beanbags who hasn't seen it who would like to share my hopes of healthiness for everyone? No sadness, no drama, no getting back together with your ex. Just, I'm in a healthy relationship. You have a healthy career. We're going to raise our kids and they're going to be healthy. Everything's going to be happy, which is definitely how TV works and how life works. Everyone just gets perfect really quickly and it's all going to be fine.
We watched this when this originally dropped long before Marcus existed.
Yeah, you guys. Well, when did this come out? Was this during the pandemic or was this the last season before the pandemic?
This was the last one before the pandemic, I believe.
Oh, okay. So you guys have been waiting a while for season 4.
Correct. Like usually they came out every like November, December from like 2016, 17, 18.
I suppose like it's such a big production. I suppose they couldn't have really gone back to production in the same way others did with like cutting cast numbers, cutting like crew numbers. They couldn't really do that. I suppose like others cut their staff in order to follow protocol, but Maisel is such a big production.
Yeah, season 3 was dropped December 6th of 2019.
Oof, the worst.
So we were expecting one, I guess, 2020 at the end of 2020. So it took a whole, COVID took a whole extra year to drop, and then some for season 4, because they were like November 2017, December 2018, and then December 2019.
Oh, I see. So like, and it's so weird, isn't it? It's just, it feels like it's been forever. Well, it has been forever. It's been like 10 lifetimes squished into one. But yeah, I'm excited to find out how this season ends, and like we're gonna get through it pretty quickly because of the way John has things set up over the next few weeks. Oh, I don't know. I'm nervous. Because like obviously I feel like it's gonna go up, like it's gonna go uphill now. Like we're in that kind of point of the season where it's gonna get happy for an episode or two. Like we've kind of had the conflict of Midge and Susie. Like she's gone on tour, she's kind of stumbled, so she's probably going to be fine for an episode or two. Oh, I'm nervous. It's making me nervous. Like the happy episodes are one thing, but the crash, I don't like the crash. And I feel like we're definitely gonna, I mean, it's not all happy. I mean, we see Abe and Rose are not in a good situation. So they're probably like the only ones really who are in not a great situation. I'm looking forward to seeing how Susie handles Sophie. I give that an episode or two before that burns. She's not going to be happy that Susie isn't, like, Susie lied. Sophie is not her number one client. She may be the number one payer, but she's definitely not her number one client. So that's not gonna go well. I give that 2 episodes before that's like starts cracking and burning to the ground. I wonder if she'll lock Susie in a room like she did with the writers. She'd be like, "Well, if you're gonna try and fly away, here's a room with no windows."
Oh God.
Can you? I can see it. I can
see it. She's gonna kidnap her. She's gonna have her goons
She's gonna
come
put her
and
in with
like
all the
throw a
coats.
pillowcase over her head and shove her in there with her fur coats and keep her locked up.
Oh yeah, and that's 100% what's going to happen. I'm sticking to my guns. That's my prediction. She's going to be in with the fur coats. She's not going to know what time of day it is, what day it is. She's going to be asking people to send messages to her parents. It's going to be great. Oh boy. I'm trying to think, is there any did we miss any kind of like big what were you guys saying were big discussions last night? I remember a few times you guys saying we discussed this a lot. What were the main topics you touched on?
Oh, the plane, like the way travel was back then, it was an experience in that time period. People dressed up and you had meals served to you. It was just a big, big deal. And they had so much room and it was just so glamorous and we were all just jealous
I was gonna say, now
because
you're just like fighting to be able to keep your legs alive for the entire trip.
yes.
Absolutely.
And then what else did we discuss at length?
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I can't remember.
I mean, the plane is a good one. I definitely like it was, I suppose, similar to the hospital.
What was
We
the
saw the
thing I
hospital
just
room.
talked about in the thing? We talked about I just said something when I was in the we talked about the it will come to me in a minute, I'm sure, like right after we hang up.
That's okay. I don't mind talking about the plane a little bit. It's definitely very interesting to see, and I have to say, I think like I was very correct when I said that Midge looked like an air hostess, because like when they were talking to each other about the drinks, they were wearing the same hat in different colors. I will not be convinced that they were not just wearing the same hat. But I loved I loved seeing Susie so scared, because that's 100 that scene. Anyone who's seen Bridesmaids the movie, where Kristen Wiig, I want to say is her name, Kristen Wiig, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's terrified of the plane, and she starts like taking tablets and being given drinks, and then she gets a little bit kooky and saying she sees a colonial woman on the wing and they need to land the plane. I've never done that.
Oh,
But
That was also on Melissa
oh,
McCarthy.
I have to have a babysitter. Like, I have to
mm,
be accompanied by an adult because the only way I'm getting on a plane is if I'm heavily drugged and I do get a little kooky. And if you just put me on a plane by myself, then oh no, I will not end up where I'm supposed to end up. So
I've
that, yeah.
I've borderline passed out in the waiting area to get on a plane before, because I can't. So most logical people would probably get on the plane, and if they're a bit anxious, like take some Xanax, have a drink, whatever. When they get on the plane, I can't get on the plane unless I've already had something to calm me down.
Yes.
So, exactly. So, and most of the time, 99% of the time I've ever been on a plane, I'm by myself. So, like, when I've had to get, I've had to take Xanax, and it's like, oh, this is not working. Let me just take another one. I'm like keeled over in the seats, and I'm like nearly passed out. I'm like, how did I ever get myself on these planes? And two, how did they let me on? Because I must have just looked pure, like piss drunk. I must have just looked so out of it. But I'm like, I swear this is how you want me, because otherwise I'm going to be sitting there like rocking back and forth, hyperventilating, demanding to be let off while we're in the air. So like,
Oh, I take it long before. I take it on the way to the airport. So by time I get on that plane, I am just completely in a different world. I don't know what's going on, but I'm still nervous when I get on the plane. So it's a whole thing with me. I just don't fly well.
I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad I have you and I have Susie. That makes me feel a lot better.
Just
Because
think of Susie the next time you fly.
I will. And she, I mean, I did find it very funny that she lifted her legs, And you see, it's not, I do that, but I don't think I don't do it because I think it's going to take weight off of the plane, but I'm terrified of the floor. I'm like, that, like, why can I feel the engine or whatever working underneath my feet? Why is it so thin that I can feel things happening? That's not right. So I don't want my feet touching it. Because what if something happens to the floor?
Well, yeah, and if you crash, the bottom of the plane's going to hit the land first, so it makes sense to me.
See, thank you, Kendra. I'm glad to have another voice of reason. Here's the thing. I'm sorry for anyone who is like not afraid of flying, who's sitting there like, what are these people talking about? But everyone tries to reassure me. They're like, oh, but like there's anything happening to planes is so rare. And I'm like, yes, but it has to happen to someone. And that's all I need to know. That's all I need. And that's it. I flew to Australia once. That was a 28 hours worth of multiple flights in a row. And I've never been more horrified. This is before they started giving me Xanax. So I went to a typical pharmacy and was like, what can you give me without prescription? They gave me herbs. They were like, here's some plant. And I was like, oh, fantastic. Because I didn't fucking know. Oh, sorry. I didn't fudging know better at the time. So I was like, all these plant tablets are gonna help me. And I got on the plane, I was like chugging plant tablets, and it was like nothing is happening because I, for some reason, believed them when they told me, oh, they're so relaxing. And I was like, I don't think they understood that I have an anxiety disorder. So that's something you guys know about me now. If I ever like get to come visit any of you, just know that I will be terrified when I'm on my way. So oh
I'm not
boy, I
so
know
bad. I'm not so bad once I get on the plane. I'm just a wreck making sure I get to the airport and get to the gate and get on the plane on time.
oh, I love being early. I love being the first person
Yes,
there and sitting down with a cup of coffee,
for
which
three
probably
hours.
doesn't
Yes,
help.
I will be that person there sitting on the gate for 3 hours so
Oh,
I'm
it's
not
the
late.
best. Because then I like usually have like my iPad or something. I'll get some episodes of something downloaded.
Yeah, you can charge
I'll
your phone. There's plenty
oh,
of outlets
it's the
available.
best. I don't understand why people want to go to the airport last minute. Being there early is so where it's at. It's the best. I love it so much. Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
so
I'd
glad I
rather
found
sit
my
there for
people.
3 hours. Yeah, I'm just so afraid that I'm gonna lose stuff on my plane. You know, like when I travel, when I travel by train, it's worse. I have to have everything zipped up and held close to my body so that nobody can get into it, or me drop it. You know, I have to have zippers on my bags so that nothing is open or can fall out. Because I'm afraid of that. Yeah, I'm afraid of that stuff. I'm not really afraid of flying. I'm afraid of once I get on the plane that I'm gonna lose stuff.
Oh, every time I've flown, they've lost all of my baggage. Everything. Like, I get to my destination, I'm already traumatized, and then I have no luggage. And sometimes it's taken up to a week for me to get my freaking clothes back. We went somewhere once, had to go buy all my clothes and everything, and I still didn't have my original luggage by the time we flew back. I
How
eventually got
long
it.
were you gone?
Like 10 days. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah. Every time I've flown, they've just lost everything I've checked. Everything. They lost our stroller once and our car seat. And we get to the airport, there's no car seat because he
Oh,
was
for
small enough to be a
God's
lap
sake.
child.
Oh
And
no.
they were like, oh, we have this one that was left here. It was like 15 years old. It didn't have all the pieces. I was like, are you insane? You want me to put my child in that? And the manager gave my father in law, who came to pick us up, a check and said, go and buy a car seat for this child.
I'm proud of you for
It
making that
was
happen.
amazing. So my whole flying experience is just always traumatizing. I just don't do it unless I have to.
Same as that, absolutely. It was a lot worse when I lived in England, so I was flying home like every few weeks to see my family. That was a rough time. Like the flights are very short, but it doesn't. That's not even a. It's. Ugh. If anything, that probably helps because if I'm on a flight for multiple hours, then my medication's going to wear off. But if I'm on a flight for 45 minutes, then I know I'm going to be. I might have some trouble getting off the plane because I won't fully be able to function. But I would rather do that. Yeah, it's planes. It's nice to see representation of people who are insane on TV. It's always nice to see. Let me think. What else? What else? What else happened in
Um,
this episode?
at the beginning of this episode, when they're in the apartment,
Yes.
and this is the brilliance of Amy and Dan to me, when Rose and Abe are arguing about the apartments they've looked at, and they say something about the small apartment, and Abe's like, "Oh yeah, we can be like the Collier brothers." I love that reference because the Collier brothers are like these prolific historical hoarders that lived in New York. And there's a documentary about them, and it's just the greatest thing ever. They were these super eccentric men who lived, I believe, in Harlem, and there was like 140 tons of hoarding in their brownstone, and they had booby traps set. They were just these very interesting men, and every time I watch this episode and I hear that, I'm like, they are brilliant for like throwing those little historical references in that were relevant at that time. And I love that part, and I forgot to point it out last night. They're just genius writers.
I'm sorry, you have just triggered a memory in me. I've seen a play about the Collier brothers.
Oh,
I
yes.
I saw The Dazzle in London, which had Andrew Scott, who a lot of people know from either Fleabag or Sherlock. Um, Brilliant Irish actor, absolutely brilliant. I saw him in London, and it's only clicked to me that that was not fiction. Well, it was probably partially fictionalized, but like it was based on real. Because you're saying it's about these famous brothers who are hoarders. I'm like, that just sounds really familiar to me. Why do I know that story? And
Yes.
I've
They
just
were
gone and looked.
so
Yeah.
fascinating. These men, they were just some of the most fascinating men ever. I got a little obsessed with them, and I did like a deep dive, and I watched these documentaries about them, but Amy and Dan threw that in. And a lot of people, if you're not familiar with the Collier brothers, you don't know that reference, but I think they're just brilliant for doing things like that.
Oh, absolutely. Like not to I know some people hate when we do this, but not to bring Gilmore Girls into it, but you think of the amount of references they throw out in that show. A lot of them I'll get because like it's aimed at kind of my age bracket, so like I do understand the references, but a lot of them will be lost to me because they're very American references. So like I love when you guys tell me these things because I love knowing the little details because a lot of it will get lost in translation. I can't believe I can't. I'm sorry. I can't believe I've just realized I saw that play like 10 years ago. I can't believe it's just clicked for me that that was based on real people. Um, but yeah, like now you see that's great. I need to find my picture with Andrew Scott. That's completely unrelated. Sorry, my brain's like swirling now. Um, I love hearing those tiny details though. Yes, I was going to say something else, but it's pretty much just me repeating myself. So I won't do that to you guys. But thank you for telling me that, Kendra. I really appreciate knowing that. I think we have mostly talked about everything in the episode. we've covered Midge, we've covered Joel, we've covered Abe and Rose a little bit. I will say that was scene of Midge saying goodbye to the apartment was very emotional. It really reminded me of Room. It was, like I said, very different contexts, but just the kind of walking around saying goodbye to objects in different rooms. That's so deeply sad, though. Like, she was raised in that house and she's been raising her kids and decades worth of memories in that one place. So it's really heartbreaking. I don't imagine they'll get it back, but I think that would be nice. It would be nice. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love at some point if they somehow find a way to get that apartment back.
I'm really looking forward to them living with the Maisels because that's just going to be great, great fun.
Especially the original Mrs. Maisel. She is a
Yes.
kook. She is kooky. So I can just imagine them in bed in the morning and she just like bursts in to like get their washing or something like that, like she does with Joel. I think that would be hilarious. Oh boy. Oh, it's gonna be fun. That is one thing to look forward to, I think. As much as it's a very sad situation, it's gonna be very comedic. I love it. Is there anything that we didn't really touch on, or something we did touch on that anyone didn't really get a chance to say anything about? Or if you want to message me, or if you want to come up. If not, I think I'll head out and eagerly anticipate the next episode. I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
Oh, the next episode is a really good one.
Oh,
they're all good, but the next one is really good.
You see, it shouldn't make me nervous to hear it's a good episode, but like when I think that comes from my own thing, like where if I'm talking about an episode being really good, I usually mean like it's really full of like drama and the worst things you've ever seen, but like really well written. So I'm like, when I hear, oh, it's a good episode, I'm like, why did you say that? Who dies? Who dies? Tell me right now, who dies? Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap it up, folks. I just want to say thank you all for joining me again. I know you guys don't mind, but I do want to apologize that I was a bit late today. We did wrap up fairly on time though, so like I'm quite proud of us. Let me think. Let me check the schedule because John, I love that man. He really confused me with all of the rewatches. So I need to check when the next rewatch is. I think it's the 16th. I want to say the 16th. And it won't just be me. I have some really wonderful people who are going to be jumping in and helping. Not helping, they're going to be doing it all themselves. So it's not something that's just going to be me over the next month or so. I want to say a month that we have left of episodes. It's going to be, Wednesday the 16th is our next episode, same time. So that'll be someone else. We have some really cool people who are helping and jumping in and taking over the rewatches. So that's going to be really fun. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear what everyone else thinks. I love listening to everyone's opinions and thoughts, and not that that's shock, like that's what we do here, but it's so much fun. So I'm excited. Let me think. I don't think I need to say anything else. Thank you. Sarah, you're our recorder for today, right? So thank you very much for being here. And I will free you all back to your lives. I hope the rest of you have either a good evening, good rest of your day. Just in general, I just hope you have a good time. Is there a watch on tonight? Is Buffy tonight? Buffy's not tonight, is it? I hate being so out of touch.
Oh no, we don't have a Slate show tonight.
Oh my god. That's
on Wednesdays
shocking.
Right now. We don't have Slate shows. But tonight we have Lizzie McGuire and then 8 Days a Week.
Oh, and Emily in Paris. Diane just messaged me. That's cool.
Oh yeah,
That's
Emily
cool.
in Paris too.
Am I running into another event right now?
No, we don't have
Oh my
anything
god. Oh, sorry. I suddenly
for
went, oh shit. I
hours.
just realized we finished 15 minutes ago and I didn't even check if there was something right after. That's terrible. I'm not usually like that. I might, whenever we have Buffy next, I'm really, because I think it's the season 1 finale. So if I can, I would really like to be there for that. I think that'll be a fun episode to be there for. I haven't been able to be there for anything, so I'd love to be there for the finale. But yes, so I will free you all back to your lives. Again, thank you for joining me. You're all wonderful. I adore you. So go, be free. I love you all. Enjoy the rest of your days.
Bye.
Bye.